All right, a happy Sunday morning if you're in LA, or afternoon if you're on the East Coast. Hopefully everyone is doing great. June 29th, I'm just responding to my text. June 29th, the deadline for players to opt in or opt out of their contract. 5 p.m. Eastern time. We still have a bunch of players still waiting. I figured we would do a video. I've been on SportsCenter all morning talking Lakers. I would say they are in the news today. And we will do a Lakers video as far as just kind of, I know we've been putting out the graphics and people are like, where can we find those graphics? It's just in my computer on Canva. There's no place that you can go have access to it. And we put out graphics and we showed you kind of the different options. I think it's, Julius Randle. I think it's important to kind of walk this through like a step-by-step process. And it's probably important to look at this roster where they are right now. And then we're going to go in each of the different news that Shams broke along this morning. Okay. When we woke up this morning on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, the Lakers had Dorian Finney-Smith under contract. He had a player option. Okay. Julius Randle, Dorian Finney-Smith under contract at a player option. LeBron James with his player option here. I'm just going to pull up the Lakers offseason. And they had the 5.7 tax mid-level exception available. Okay, that was their big signing tool as far as what they had available to go use in free agency, right? We've been talking about they need a center. That was their big signing tool. They also had $60 million in expiring contracts. That include Dorian Finney-Smith. When you look at Rui Hachimura and you look at Gabe Vincent and you look at Maxi Kleber, we're not including Austin Reeves in that conversation here because I wouldn't say a player is not tradable, but the likelihood is that he's off the market unless there's something that makes sense. Okay, so that was kind of your Lakers. We woke up this morning, 4 a.m. Pacific time. Lakers roster in a nutshell. Okay. Then we had at around 8 a.m. Pacific time, we had Shams go on SportsCenter. I backed him up 15 minutes later and announced that LeBron James was opting in, right? We all knew this. We knew he was going to opt in. If he had opted out, he could have signed a new deal. He opts in, the no trade clause comes into effect. And in doing so, he reads a statement from Rich Paul, his longtime agent, well-respected. And it says, I will read this to you. If any of you, let me find the statement. Sorry. All right. So this is what the statement was. LeBron wants to compete for a championship. He knows the Lakers are building for the future, right? They went out and acquired Luka. He understands that, but he values a realistic chance of winning it all. We are very appreciative of the partnership that we've had for 7 years and consider the Lakers as a critical part of his career. Won a championship. It's been there 7 years. I think his first year might have been my first year with ESPN. Okay, no, different story. However, there's always a but in everything. However, we do want to evaluate what's best for LeBron at this stage in his life and career. He wants to make every season he has left count, and the Lakers understand that, are supportive, and want what's best for him. So I don't have a PhD degree. I'm not a psychologist. I think you can try to interpret that every different way. It's like kind of like hedging your bet. What do you want? Do you want to be back with the Lakers? Yes. Do you want this roster to improve? Yes. What happens if it doesn't improve? What are your options going to do? In a perfect world, like if I was John Smith off the street and I didn't think my roster can improve and I probably already had $1 billion in the bank, I would have probably just declined the option and gone into free agency and go sign with Cleveland for the veteran minimum or San Antonio for the veteran minimum. Just hypothetically, like that would probably be the most sensible as far as decline the option and enter free agency and go sign somewhere for the veteran minimum exception. He did not do that. He opted into his contract, which he has the right to do. And he has the right to earn listen, if we didn't have a salary cap, LeBron James would probably be worth $100 million. So he opts into the contract and the statement comes out. And now we are left wondering what is going to be next for the Los Angeles Lakers if there are marginal changes to this roster. The Lakers, and I said this morning on SportsCenter, the Lakers are operating basically on kind of two timelines. When you look at LeBron, who's got a year left on his contract, then you have Luka, who's, remember, extension eligible, 4 for $229, August 2nd. Don't lose sight of that. Trying to build and add around Luka. It's an unenviable position for Rob Pelinka, their general manager. But this is the position they are in right now. When you look at it from a trade perspective, okay, all right, let's go back then. About 20 minutes later, Shams announces that Dorian Finney-Smith is opting out of his $15.4 million player option. Okay, so what does that mean? That means if Finney-Smith goes somewhere else and signs somewhere else, your non-tax mid-level exception now increases to $14 million. That's your non-tax, okay? If you use more than 5.7, the first apron hard cap gets triggered. Kevin Pelton and I were texting. Kevin is labeling it the lower tax, or lower tax. I don't know. Kevin had some great word that I liked as far as you not using the apron anymore. So they now have the $14.1 million. If this Finney-Smith does not resign, $14.1 million non-tax mid-level exception, the $5.1 million biannual exception. Using the biannual exception triggers first apron. Using the more than 5.7 of the non-tax triggers the first apron. Let's say Dorian Finney-Smith does not return. You are $19 million below the first apron, okay? So if we do a little bit of a math lesson right now, if you apply 14 to that, if it's for a center, or 10 for that, whatever the left is that's for your flexibility to go out and add whatever's left. You are hard capped. You are hard capped like the Dallas Mavericks were last year at the first apron. You are hard capped like the Golden State Warriors were last year at the first apron, right? That is what happens. When you look at, from a free agent perspective, listen, you're not getting Miles Turner. There's guys like Brook Lopez, Clint Capella, that kind of, Luke Cornett, I would probably take a flyer on. I mean, I think his number is around $6-7 million. That's your free agent market. Now we look at the trade market. Let's take Finney-Smith off the table. Now you got about $45 million in expiring contracts. You've got that first round pick in 31 or 32. You have swap rights in 5 out of 7 years. You have Dalton Connect, poor Dalton Connect, kind of on an island by himself, as far as what you have available from a tradable standpoint. I am not going to come on and do LeBron James trades where he can go, but there is going to